Welcome to Leading to Prosperity podcast. Our guest today is Mr. Grant Feiner. Grant has 2 decades of experience in the industry and he is helping the business leaders and inspired pioneers to achieve their goals and leading to their prosperity. Before starting his own firm, he was working for corporates and helping them in strategizing their businesses, growing their organizations, and building a very, very high-performing people and the teams. He's been working with the companies like Intel, VMware, and Compaq and ensured that whatever he does it in pride and made the organizations proud. He's with us today to share his experiences and what made him to start his own business and how is he helping New Zealand fellow entrepreneurs and getting them to achieve their dreams. With all that, I welcome Grant for this podcast.
Good afternoon, Deepak and everyone. Thank you very much for having me along on the podcast today.
Great. Thanks, Grant. And it's been a while. We have not spoken a lot of strategizing stuff. Let us start off today for our podcast. Whatever you are doing, why you are doing, and what is so important for you in this?
Yeah, sure thing. So a lot of my time nowadays is going into the building up of our business networking community here in Auckland. So I'm the principal connector for a group called Business Strategy. And what Business Strategy is really a reflection of what's going on in the business community here, where more and more people are looking to develop a solopreneur, a side career, or to be able to really take control of their own working lives and to be able to grow their skills and also connections. And all of that comes back to being able to make great connections with others, networking and providing those types of opportunities. I saw an opportunity to be of service to the local community by helping to gather together all the people who believe that in order to grow, to increase your business or personal or anything you might be doing in life, you need to be able to make connections. And so everything that we do is all about this concept of creating great connections in order to provide growth and prosperity, as you say, in all these different areas of life. So I work as an advocate for individuals and also businesses that want to connect together. They've got a great idea or a passion that they want to bring into the marketplace and monetize. And the current community, our current business climate encourages people to do that more now than any other time in history. And so what I do is I play a small role in helping bring these people together through events, workshops, seminars, and other connection opportunities so that they can connect and grow together.
This is very important for the businesses because businesses today happen, we all speak about it, always happens with the relationships and making good connects within the business. And so forth with New Zealand, it's much more for all of us. Why did you pick up this? Basically, the thing is like, what made you think that this is the platform which we need to do for helping the entrepreneurs or the business people or the senior leaders?
I think you picked up on a really important word there, Deepak, which is platform. In the digital world, there are so many different areas where people can go now that it can become very confusing for business owners to develop their own unique identity, to understand which type of platform they should be on or how many of those if we look in the digital space. And of course, there's that need to be able to connect with local people and your first customers are probably going to be the people that are closest to you. So providing those opportunities as well. For me, I had spent a large number of years working in the corporate space, helping international companies establish and build relationships across New Zealand with technology alliances, product distribution, software, and other areas. And I saw that at all levels of the commercial space, the requirements for business to be successful were for them to partner well with each other and to create solutions at the end of the day that added additional value for customers so that they could pay for those things and then there'd be value that would flow all the way back up the chain. And I thought that having had that background and being able to bring some of those advantages into those corporates, I thought, well, there must be a great opportunity for creators and product entrepreneurs in New Zealand. Let's face it, we're a real nation of entrepreneurs, so there's a lot of them out there, to go to market more effectively by creating alliances and connections between each other to build referral business, new businesses, learn from each other, and just grow together.
That's an important thing you touched upon, Grant, growing together. The thing is, I believe in, we can't grow as one person unless until we grow it as a group or a team. So team is very important, or growing together is very important in the community. And without that, I don't think it makes sense for that matter. So it's a very important thing growing together, and I definitely enjoy doing that.
Yeah, definitely. And it's critical, right? And I come across, as you will, Deepak, I come across so many people that have gotten into business for themselves. They have this concept that they need to do everything themselves. And it's rife within our community where people will, sometimes it's to save costs, sometimes it's to build new expertise, sometimes it's because they just don't know experts in other areas. But this idea of trying to fulfill all roles within a business is really rife within the Kiwi culture. And I believe that we can all go much faster by going together and identifying key strategic partnerships. They may or may not be employees, but certainly partnerships that can help allow an entrepreneur to focus on their unique area of excellence, and they'll grow much faster that way.
That's an important thing, right? We say that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go long,
Go together.
go together. That's an important thing. Yeah, we'll move on to the next point. What are the challenges in the areas you're working?
So one of the biggest challenges that I mentioned earlier is that, especially in the digital space now, there's a plethora of different ways in which people can connect. There's the Meetup platform, the Facebook platform, LinkedIn, Opportunity, many of these different things. And those are just the digital ones. Then there are all of the established business networking groups, many of which operate very successfully, with some great groups all the way out through not only Auckland, but also the rest of New Zealand and the whole world. So people are confronted with this requirement to network in order to grow business, but given very little guidance as to what type of networking might be most useful and valuable for them to do in order to move their businesses forward. And so I think this is a major challenge within the networking events industry at the moment. I think that diversity is really important, but at the same time, if you can identify the type of event or the type of customer that your business benefits from, that you can bring in and that you can serve better than anybody else can, then those are the types of areas that you'll get the greatest return on investment from investing your time in.
If you look at all the entrepreneurs and the spirited pioneers of the ideas,
Mm-hmm.
they're not all, the people, those who don't go into the networking events, or they don't speak, or they don't mingle. So how does it work? When we look at it, how does it work basically? They come there and what do they do?
Yeah, sure. So this comes back to the teamwork aspect that you mentioned earlier. And we all know that within each of us, there are different personality traits that have a level of strength or a level of weakness. And I believe that people can go fastest by focusing in that area where they can shine as their own unique selves. And to put it very broadly, we could split people in half and say, well, half people are more outgoing. They would be able to get along with groups easier. They can make introductions easier. They feel comfortable in the presence of others. And these are the sorts of people you can ask yourself a question, when I need to recharge my batteries, do I recharge my batteries by spending time with others? Or on the other side, do I recharge my batteries by spending time alone? And we all know that there are different reflections of that in every single one of us at different particular times. The way that we work with this in the business strategy group is that we create events that are targeted towards that natural personality strength. So we have social events that particularly are attractive to people who make friends easily, who just want to get out there and meet a bunch of people. These are the people who can go along to an event, and it's a week long, and through the course of that, they meet every single person at the event, and they just can't help it. They meet people in the line for coffee. They meet people as they're walking in the room. They meet people when they sit down at a table, and they walk out of the event at the end of the week and they've got a big stack of business cards, and they don't, in many cases, even know why they met so many people, but they just did, and they made all these connections. Then, on the other hand, there are people who like to take a more considered approach. and they'll think about who within a room they need to meet to connect with, where their strengths might be, and where the strengths of others might be. And then they'll specifically look for those types of people to connect with. The way that we help people that are on that side of the spectrum is that we'll create a structured meet and greet event that takes all of the requirement around needing to get up yourself and go and talk to somebody else, which can be a very scary thing for some people. And we structure all of that in so that all of those types of things are known in advance, they're prepared, they're expected. So it makes it very, very easy and natural for those people to go up and be introduced to other people that they can network with. Because I'm sure you'd agree, Deepak, it doesn't matter whether you're an outgoing person or a quieter person. In order to grow, your business must make connections. And so you have to figure out the way that's going to do that that'll work well for you. And the way we do it in the group is we create different events targeted towards these different personalities.
Yes. One point which actually picked me up here is recharging by the community and, with the people. That is an important point, Grant, which I want to bring it up here. When we speak about taking the energy from the positive people around us, it makes a lot of difference. If you live with negative people, you don't go anywhere. Whereas if you go there and go out there and look some positive people around and talk to them, and the lot of energy comes from them. And that's an important thing, especially for the business and business owners, or the people, those who are looking for help. That makes a lot of difference, because the thing is, people take them together with the energy what they have. That's a very, very important and phenomenal stuff for, especially for the business owners, when there is no one for them to encourage and make their business successful. With that, we are going to the next one. We are hearing terms like digital transformation and business transformation. Being a technocrat yourself, Grant, how does all these things fit into the businesses for the people?
Yeah, I think that's a really, really important thing to consider for people who are looking at going into business now, because the options for us as Kiwis have really dramatically expanded over the last few years. We're really not just an island at the bottom of the earth, of the globe now, but we can address a global marketplace from where we are. Kiwis have always done that really well. We've been known as a nation of innovators that have taken great ideas all over the world. But with the continued evolution of digital tools, that ability is now within the grasp of all of us. And I regularly have interactions with, the coaching industry is probably a good one, where people are using platforms like this one, like Zoom or Skype, in order to deliver value to people, no matter which country they happen to be in. The delivery of goods and services now. Previously, you used to have a warehouse and run an importing and a landing and clearance division in order to be able to import and run with a distribution company. Nowadays, all of that stuff can be done either remotely, digitally, with partners, or in fact, entirely online. So the possibilities for all of these different types of businesses are continually expanding. I think it's really important for people to recognize that continuing change, and the fact that traditional business roles are being more and more automated. And if you look around in 20 years, you look at the types of jobs that are being automated now and where things will be. I believe that the emphasis, or the creation for business people, is going to go more and more towards the artisan crafts of being a unique personality. We're going to have automation that will replace almost all of the tasks that we have in business right now. But ultimately, we're still going to need to have somebody coming up with those creative ideas, expressing themselves uniquely, and running that expression throughout everything that they do. Simon Sinek says, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And so I think that one of the most important things for entrepreneurs entering whatever industry it is that you're entering into is to establish and then continually revisit that key idea. Because as long as they have that, they will be doing something which is unique to them. People will be attracted to that. And as long as you're generating that attraction, you'll always be successful in anything that you do.
Yeah, you touched upon a very important point there, Grant, is don't leave your USP, right? Unique selling proposition. So this is common with many of the entrepreneurs or the startups. They start with a great idea and great thinking, but then what happens over a period of time or to run the business, they start diversifying and the core idea has been forgotten and the core principle has been forgotten. So how do you think that we as entrepreneurs to continue to be focused on that? I keep telling about we have to revisit, but then you have seen many people in the industry. So how do you suggest or advise people to go back to the basics and start again, to look back and say, yes, this is my idea and I'm chasing my dreams?
Yeah, it is tough, isn't it? Especially with so much opportunity out there, to identify one thing and to really stick with it is an amazing skill. There's a couple of things that I think are really relevant here. The first one is this idea of having a team. Even if you are a solopreneur in business for yourself, having people that you can network with that have different strengths can really help you to stay on task and work through these items so that you can remain focused to get things through to completion. Some people are excellent at finishing things. Other people are great at starting things. And if we can help bring those two people together, then you have a sort of a balance. It's not always smooth riding, but you know that you're going to be much stronger together. The second key concept that I think is really relevant in this discussion is the concept that everything happens in cycles. In business, we often tend to look at, and you mentioned about diversifying for growth as an example. We look out at open fields in front of us and we say, let's go and get everything that's there. And so it's a headlong dash to take as much of the market share and as much of the opportunity as you possibly can. And one of my mentors talks a lot about the fact that business is actually more about a cycle where there are times when growth happens, there are times when new ideas come in, there are times when these things are built and developed, times when they're sold, and customers come into the business, then times when things are consolidated, automated, and strategized around again. So if you think about that business in terms of a repeating cycle as opposed to a straight line with a single endpoint, then I think that really helps to ensure that you come back to this idea of your why on a regular basis. One of the ways that I do that is I divide up my week into different what I call energies. So I have a couple of days when I spend time in a creative space, and I think, right, these are my creative days and I'm going to focus on tasks that are relevant to creation in those days. It doesn't mean I don't do the other things that we all know you need to do in order to get business through every day, but I focus on those things. Then other days I focus on tempo. I say, well, is this the right time to be releasing this particular new product or going into a specific market, or in my case with business strategy, working on a specific type of event. We've just gone through the summer period, which is very quiet here in New Zealand, and business does pretty much shut down for the majority of that summer period. So it's probably not a good time to be introducing a bunch of new customer-facing projects. So what we did is we focused on our internal systems, revise and update and get ready for the year ahead. Then other days I spend time strategizing and I go, are we doing the right things? What should we be doing more of? What should we stop completely? And keeping all of those things documented and journaled allows me to go through each of those things as a weekly cycle and make sure that in addition to driving projects forward and getting new things out into the marketplace, I'm continually revisiting those core areas that can help me build a stronger and stronger business.
Yeah, you touched upon creative days as well as the days which you segregate in such a way that you focus on those things on that particular day. It is very key for all of us to ensure that we are keeping that time aside for thinking. So we have a lot of noise around, and as you rightly said, we get distracted with many of the things. So that is very key, Grant. Yeah, we have some more things going on, and some of the other things which I wanted to have a conversation with you today is what is fulfilling for you and how do you measure it?
That's a pretty deep sort of a question, isn't it, Deepak? So I went through an exercise where I looked at key things that I was passionate about in life. And it was quite an in-depth experience through personal development and the engagement of a number of different mentors, and completed a number of different passion tests to figure out what it was that I really wanted to focus on within my life. And the number one value that I came up with was freedom. The second one was passion. The third one was clarity. And the fourth one was harmony. And having gone through identifying that those were four key areas that were really, really important to me, what I then did was I started to reevaluate everything that I was engaged with to understand how they contributed to or took away from those key values, and realigned all of my goals, activities, and other things to ensure that to the greatest extent possible, I was fulfilling those values within my life. And as I started to turn my activities to focus in these different areas, I noticed that my levels of enjoyment of life, my focus, my quality of relationships with the people that are important to me in life, my beautiful girlfriend, my family, the others, they all started to increase simultaneously because I was more and more living that passion. Look, I think that's a journey, so we're all on it at some stage. But I've found that keeping those things in mind as I make decisions through the day help guide me as to the types of things that I should be doing and where I should be spending my time for the greatest amount of fulfillment, both now and in the future.
Okay, that's an interesting way of putting things, Grant. I wish we all have that capability to revisit and regenerate ourselves going through the process of knowing who we are and what our passions are, and bringing that to the business and life makes a lot of difference. And I'm sure that the people, those who have gone through that, would enjoy the business. Cool. With that, I want to get into the next one is, Grant, how do you think what you're doing would benefit people in New Zealand? And is there how do you quantify it? Basically, when something like this happens, and if someone comes and tells you that, hey, Grant, looks, I came here, I did this, and my business has grown. So
Yeah.
I'm just trying to understand, how does it work?
Great. So with me, I like to think of things in terms of the universe being infinite. There's always more resources for us all to kind of connect into. I think of it as being the difference between chasing a dollar. If we've got, say, this pen is $1, if there's just one pen and I've got the pen, and then I give it to you, I've sort of lost the dollar, and so, or the other way around, you've gained $1 and maybe you've sold me something and I've got some goods, or whatever the case may be. Look, in the digital economy, that traditional concept doesn't necessarily hold true. And the examples that I'd like to give you are around the concept of likes, or maybe LinkedIn connections. If we meet each other on LinkedIn and we decide to connect in together, I don't give you my connection, so to speak. We both get connected. So in a magical sort of way, it's not finite where you've now got the connection and I don't have it anymore. We've both got that connection. And so I see that there's the opportunity to grow exponentially and together in all of these different values. Where I think this comes in for New Zealanders is that, as I said earlier, we tend to be a nation of people who are quite independent, free-spirited, and independently thinking. And sometimes that can lead to loneliness or a feeling of isolation, or many of those other types of things. What I do helps people, because I'm all about bringing people together and creating those valuable connections that'll help them to recognize those things within themselves, enjoy knowledge and be able to share knowledge with each other. A business strategy is not just a meetup group where people come together. It's a platform. It's your platform. It's a space where you can come to share about things that are passionate to you. And the third area where I love to contribute is by creating or embracing the principles of being able to share success as I enjoy it. And so I'm a member of an organization called B1G1, an organization for global giving. And fundamentally, the concept around the outside of that is that every time we do something that benefits us, we also make a point of doing something that benefits other entrepreneurs. Maybe it might be people in New Zealand, it might be feeding them lunch, or it might be somebody international that is looking to escape poverty or create their own business, or move into an area in which they increase their independence. And so with everything that we do, we try and bake in this understanding that it's not just about success for us, taking the pen. It's about sharing the connections so that we both grow, and about sharing that mutual success with others so that they can grow as well.
That's really good. Growing together is, again, I believe in that particular point, and I keep talking about it all the time. It is more of giving out rather than storing to yourself, because whatever you store to yourself cannot live forever. So I give examples of the teachers who teach us for ages, but then they'll continue to be teachers, but then they can see their fruits growing like stars in the sky and making difference to the world. That's really wonderful thought. And we call ourselves, we are living in a paradise. But then what is the type of world you would like to live? Something which is entirely different than what it is today.
Yeah, sure. I'm not sure that I think things need to be entirely different to the way that they are today. There's a great amount of opportunity and variety in everything that we're doing at the moment. And I think that people will continue to explore diversity, different levels of income, different levels of lifestyle, and also different locations. So sometimes city bound, sometimes being out in the country. And I guess for me, one of the things that I love the most is the opportunity to enjoy all of that richness from all of those different areas. So I think that in the future, for me, being able to live, anywhere that I choose to, probably maybe for a short period of time, it might be associated with travel, and to be able to add value, work, run events, be able to connect with people as I'm doing that in any location across the world. Is something that gets me really excited, and I'm involved with a few projects that are actually directly along these lines, finding ways that we can connect up entrepreneurs with high quality digital access, and with other entrepreneurs in beautiful environments all over the world. And I'd love to be in a position where I'm spending an increasing amount of my time sharing in those different styles of environments.
Amazing, amazing. I love to be part of that journey, Grant. And we go on to the next one, like what are your plans for this year, and what are the few things which you need to tell to our fellow entrepreneurs that they should be looking for, and some of the things which might be key for their business that you are planning to do?
Yeah, great. So for me, it's all about taking our connections to the next level. In 2018, we focused primarily on a few basic events. We focused on bringing new people into the community and to start to give them an idea of the space and the intent with which we wanted to help them move forward. And we were very successful at that, Deepak. Through 2018, we've been growing at a rate of more than 100 members almost every month. Through that, and that's continued through into 2019 as well. So I know that there are many different entrepreneurs out there in business who believe what we believe, that in order to grow, connections are vital. So through 2019, what I want to do is, my vision is to build out the curriculum of activities that we have for people to participate in, so that we can encourage more and more people to share. And I want to do that in two key areas. The first area is an area that I call Connect. And Connect is purely about providing an opportunity for business people to come together, to share a bit about what they know together in a group style scenario, learn about where each other's, you mentioned earlier, unique selling points are, and to be able to grow business, grow referrals, and learn new things, all in this connection environment. The second type of activity that we're going to focus on in 2019 is what I call the grow activities. And grow activities are all about how entrepreneurs can increase their skills, can increase their knowledge, can increase their attributes or the utility of their businesses in order to go further and faster. And for me, what that is all about is it's all about creating the opportunity for people to share things that they are passionate in. We can't all, we can all aspire to be, but at any one particular time, we're not all world-leading experts in one particular area or field. Particularly in some areas, New Zealand is very leading, in some areas not so. But one thing that we do have is we do have people that are tremendously passionate about the area in which they focus. And we have people that are purpose-led, they're looking to contribute. And what I want to do is I want to continue to provide a platform for those people to be able to run seminars, workshops, meetings, events, and just opportunities to share what it is that they're passionate about with other people along the journey. It might be technology, it might be human resources, it might be personal development, but no matter what it is, you will have formed a business around the outside of it. And if I can play a role, or our group can play a role in helping you take that message to a group of like-minded, purpose-led entrepreneurs that can not only become customers of yours, but you can also teach them a little bit and they will refer for you, then that will be a huge win. And that's what I'm going to focus on for our activities in 2019.
Great, Grant. Wish you all the success for 2019. And
Thank you.
The last question for you is, do you have any advice or words for me so that I could also improve in the way what I'm doing?
Yeah, sure. So I think one of the most important things is to find what you love and find ways to focus on doing what you love. There are so many opportunities in the world now that we can truly make an income out of anything it is that we do. But too many people in the world at the moment are still going and looking at the traditional model where you'll fit into the concept of a job role and mold yourself to become that. Whereas I believe that we've all got something unique inside of us that is worthwhile sharing with others, and that we can create an amazing business out of that. Very fulfilling. Do whatever it is that you want to do, whether it's travel the world, make a lot of money, create a lot of connections, make a real difference in the lives of others and be purpose-led. There's great opportunities for all those different things. So it's know yourself, know what puts you into the state of flow where you operate very naturally and very quickly and in a way which comes easier to you than others, and to focus on that area, finding ways to outsource, share, or hire out the other types of tasks. That way we can all go faster. I've got a mentor that uses the analogy of a football team. And if you, before joining the football team, if you're just sitting on the sides and you're watching everybody, it sort of looks like there's balls going everywhere. You know, there's different things, and there are some stars that sort of pick up the ball and they run all the way down the field, and, you know, they score a goal and everyone wants to be the guy scoring the goal. But when you get out onto that football field and you're really playing, you learn very quickly that you have a position to play. And your teammates learn very quickly that if whenever they pass you the ball, you don't pass it on and you run down the field and try to score a goal, they'll learn very quickly that you're not the person that they're going to send these balls to, because you're not going to be very good at passing it on to others. But then it's an amazing paradox. The better that you can become at passing those opportunities on to others, the more you find that people will pass those balls to you. And so you can focus on being very good at the position that you play, always knowing that there's going to be another ball along for you to work with in just a moment, and you don't need to hug and hold on to that one that happens to be in front of you right now. We can go further faster when we're together. That's it for me.
Thanks a lot, Grant. It's an amazing time and a lot of insights which came in, and I take away some of the things like working as a team, and some of the things which I noted down is recharging with a group of people and taking the energy from them and working together, go through the cycles, divide your days, and journal the things which you are expected to do and you will do. With that, Grant, thanks a lot for your time, and it's amazing talking to you as always, and wish you good luck and have a great, great life ahead.
Thank you very much, Deepak, and to you too. Thanks for having me along, and I look forward to some comments from viewers of the podcast, and we'll go from there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.